Right, for this week's video, we're going to do something I haven't done on video before. We're going to do my version of a chip and dip bowl. Right then, on the lathe I have a piece of Tigerwood. It's round about 15 by 3.5. Right, how this video came up. I was chatting to my wife about what I was going to do for a video this week, and she asked me, "Have you ever done one of those bowls that you put the glass in?" And what she meant was a chip and dip bowl. And I had to think about it, and I went, no, I never have actually done one of those on video. So I'm going to do basically what's my version of a chip and dip bowl on this video. There's a few things that I do when I'm doing them. I think one of the most important things with a chip and dip bowl is balance. It's the same as if I'm doing a volcano bowl, balance is the thing. Now that's something as well I've never done on videos of volcano bowl. I very rarely do them because it has to be the right piece of wood to do them, because volcano bowls are specifically, they're display pieces and the wood has to be just right to do them. I will eventually get around to doing one when I find the right piece of wood. I have to do a big clean up in here and in the wood storage shed. I might come across a piece then. The reason I'm doing a big cleanup is I have a video coming up where a company has asked me to review a tool. They've agreed to my normal terms of, if I don't like it, I'm going to say it and all this. But it's a weird one for a wood turner, but I know why they've asked me to do it. Right. So that's one that will be coming up. It'll be, you know, when I'm reviewing a tool, it'll be an extra video during the week. So that will be coming up. Right, so we'll get on with this. I'll throw the helmet on because it's an exotic and I don't want to be breathing this in. And we'll get on with it. Right, first thing I'm going to do, of course, is round it off, flatten it off, put a mortise and a foot into it. Right, what I'm doing here is, I've noticed, I didn't see this when I was picking the piece of wood, there's a lot of bug holes in this. I don't know how deep they are, but I'm going to cut this down a bit more, see if I can cut them out. If I can't, I'm going to have to fill them, but I prefer to cut them out. Right, they're mostly out in the dodgy parts. I am going to take it off and fill what's left. Just to be on the safe side. Now I'm not going to bother filling these outside ones because they're going to go missing with the when I shape the bowl. But these little ones in here are going to have to have something done with them. So I'll do that. It's going to be sawdust and CA. I'll do that and I'll be right back. Right then, those holes are filled and I have mortise marked. So we'll just do that. I have to move this macro camera for a second. Now we're on the foot. Put this back down. Right, so 1, 2, 3, about there. Now, I've explained this before, that if you're putting a foot in with a mortise, you put the foot about half the depth of the mortise. A little bit of it there. The rest of all that should be cut out. The only place it looks like I'm going to have a hole that's been filled is maybe there on the foot. It should be cut out. Right. First thing I'm going to do is, of course, cut across to the foot. So you see what I'm doing. And knock this corner off. Now, it doesn't matter if you knock the corner off or go to the foot first. Now, what I have to remember here is I am not doing a bowl. I am doing a chip and dip serving tray, which is a little bit different to a bowl. Make that where I want it. A little high. So I've got to remember that from here, right? It's a much shallower pour. But because of the way I want to do the inside, the top here has to go straight up, but only for about that much. There's not much to it at all. Pull in until we get to the foot. So also do the job of getting rid of those wormholes. Now, I do not want to go all the way into the foot with this. Because as I said, what I'm making is a chip and dip serving tray, not a bowl. This is a pretty piece of Tigerwood, but that's something with Tigerwood. You can find these holes in them and you have no idea what the story is with it until you actually put in. One hole there that I cut it out. No, I didn't. Right, that hole is actually going to go all the way through. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to fill it again, right, before I do a finish cut on this. And then I'm probably going to have to fill it from inside as well, because it's quite a deep hole. So we'll do that and I'll be back in a second. Right then, that hole is filled. I've just sharpened the gouge to do the finished cut. Right, so the closer. So we're trying to get a finished cut on this, and hopefully that hole will just kind of disappear. Just doing a very, very light finished cut. Turn that top so that it's going straight up, very slightly. Right, where's that hole? There. That was actually not bad. Look at the curve. I don't like the curve there and there. It's too sharp of a transition. Very gently. Down there. If you're trying to fix a curve, don't look here. Look up here, because you can't see the curve down here, but you can up there. You don't have to look at where you're cutting. Yeah, that's good. I want it going straight, but I don't want it to break the curve. Yeah, like that. Alright then, I will sand and finish. Oh, I won't. There's a tool mark just there. There is actually, yeah, there's a tool mark there. Don't like that. Extremely light cut to take the tool mark out. Go straight at the top. Yeah, that's got it. Yeah, grand, the tool mark's gone. Right, I will sand and finish that side and I'll be right back. Right, just putting the wax off the outside of this one. There's one spot in it that's some really gorgeous spalting. Every now and again, when you're using Tigerwood, you get some spalting in it, and it's gorgeous. It adds another dimension to the wood, but it's only every now and again you get it. It's not always there, which is a pity. Just there, see it? Lovely bit of spalting just there. Right, so that's the outside done. The only difference between when I do a bowl and when I do one of these is I've made here flat from here rather than bring the curve all the way in. Right, so we flip this over and get to the other side, get to hollowing it, and then I'll go into what I meant earlier on by balance. Right, then we're flipped over. First thing I want to do is face it off, of course. Put the hammer on so I can breathe. Right, and then I can start laying it out then. Very slightly low. Right then, we're faced off. Now, this is the bowl that I'm going to be putting into it, right? I like putting bowls into the centre of this. It's more practical, it's easier to clean, it's easier to keep clean, right? And you don't have to go mad expensive. Basically what I do is, when I'm going around, when I'm walking around and stuff, right, old second-hand shops, stuff like that, and I just pick up the odd bowls that they have. They're normally very cheap, especially if there's only one or two of them. They're normally very cheap, right? And I keep them for doing these, right? Now, what I need to know here is how far down this bowl is going to go. Normally with these blue ones, I've got about a half dozen of these, right? I like to go to about there, so let's have a quick look. Not tight to go to there. No, it should be okay. Right, I like to go to about there. So what I need to do is I need to know the width of there. Right, so I'm going to flip it over. Set the calipers for a little below that width, because as normal width, I want to creep up on it. Put the glass away. Right. I'll mark this. That's where I want to go for the moment. Right, now I'm going to hollow out that middle bit. Right, I'll move the macro camera so you can see what I'm doing. Now, something I want to do to make sure I don't go outside that is I'm going to give myself a mark with a parting tool to make sure I stay within that boundary that I want. Now, at the bottom of this hole that I'm putting in it, I want it to be flat. I'm just going to check this for size. It's not even close to deep enough yet. That size looks like it might fit okay. I want the bottom of this bowl part to be flat, because the bottom of this is flat and I want it to sit right. I don't want it moving around. Some turners, especially new ones, have a problem with making the bottom of something flat, right? I did a video on how to basically easily do it. Right, I'll leave a link up there and a link below to it, right? But it's just a technique. it's just a way to do something. And if you do it this way, 99 times out of 100 you will get a flat bottom. Right, a bit more. I'm wide enough. So now I want to start going down. Nearly there. I need to take some off here. The shoulder is catching. A little bit of that. I don't want to go down full depth until I have the fit on the width right. I'm nearly there. I've only got about that much, if even that, to go. Right, and I have the width right. Now we're just going to get the depth. I'm being very careful here because I don't want to funnel this. Oh, so close. We are really close here. See, there's no rattle in it now. But I think it's still touching there. I think the bottom isn't flat enough. I think it's touching just here on the shoulder. Let's speed it up slightly. It's just barely touching on that shoulder. That's it. Right, we're in and we're not shaking, which is exactly what I'm looking for. And it's touching the bottom. Right, so we're solid in there. Right. Now this is where the balance starts coming into it. Right. I want a rim around this. Where do I put that thing? Right. And I also want a rim at the edge of the bowl, and to make them balance I want about the same size, so I'm going to make damn sure of it by giving myself a mark there and giving myself a mark there. Right, this is the start of the balance. Now what the other thing I'm looking for balance wise is I want the curve that goes down here to be matched by the curve that comes that way. And I'm going to sharpen this gouge before I do that. Right then, let's start doing this. Right, now start in the middle. I'm going to work my way out to the edge. Now be careful. That's okay. Right. I'm going to keep going here on the outside of this. And now what I want to try and do is match the curve coming from here to this curve here. As you can see here, it's almost straight here at the start, which is what I'm going to try and do here. Right, that's just right at the start. That's just right at the start. You can maybe do it a slight bit straighter. And start the curve. Yeah, that looks better. Now what I've got to do is basically follow this out until the two curves meet. That's what I'm after. I'm after two curves to meet. Now remember, you're not doing a bowl, you're doing a server. And what you would want is you would want more weight here on the bottom than on the sides. So what I always do is I leave the bases a little thicker. It's so if somebody's taking a chip and they bump off the bowl, it doesn't flick. If it's got that little bit more weight kind of centralized at the bottom, it won't flip. going to start joining the two curves with maybe 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch of wood still on the bottom of this. Still doing my best to try and match the two curves. And once I get the curves matched, I can mess around with the depth. Right, that's too straight. It's not bad, but it's not curved enough. Curve a bit more. Right. Easy to see a little bit. It's feeling funny now. Aha. That's what's feeling funny. That, right, before I do anything else, I'm going to have to take this off and fill that hole. That's the hole that I was saying earlier. I'd probably have to fill from inside because it felt like it went all the way through and I knew something wasn't feeling right there. So I'll fill this and I'll be right back. Right then, that hole is filled, so we can get back to finishing this. Clean it up. Right. Clean this up. Go down a little further. Look at the curves. That doesn't look too bad at all. That needs to be cleaned up. Right, the two curves now meet. The bottom is fairly flat. Some tear out there. There must be something funny there. Right, I'm going to hit that with the negative rake scraper, even though I don't like using the negative rake scraper on Tigerwood. I'm gonna. This is getting to me. Right, so now this is why I have 35-35, right? I want to scrape that direction, right? So what I'm going to do is, instead of sharpening on this side, I'm going to instead of raising the bore using this side, I'm going to raise the bore using that side. And Taro is all gone. It's why I like having a 35-45. I can raise the bore on whatever side I want. Right, now the sand to finish the inside of this. And I'll be back in a sec. Right, just pulling the wax off. turned out quite okay actually. None of the spalting came inside, it's a pity. But isn't that nice? Right then, I'll take it off and I'll give you a better look at it. So I'll do that and be back in a sec. Right then, there we have it. My version of a chip and dip server made from Tigerwood with that blue glass bowl in the middle. It ended up about 15 by 3. When I take this out, you can see what I mean about the balance. The curve to the curve, right, the width of this to the width of this, it adds something by having a piece balanced like that. Well, that's my opinion on it anyway. So if you enjoyed that or got nothing out of it, if you wouldn't mind clicking like on the video, and I'll see you in the next one.